Alright guys, today we are talking about PlayStation 5 backwards compatibility. More specifically, we're focusing on full backwards compatibility. We have a new comment coming from a Sony Japan spokesperson that leads people to believe we can now anticipate, potentially, the announcement of full backwards compatibility. And so I wanted to take some time to highlight this quote or this translation to let you guys know what is being said, and then I want to give my thoughts on it because it is pretty interesting, and I think it is worth taking some time to talk about because I know this is something that a lot of people are still holding out hope for, and so I want to give my opinion on this and let you know whether or not this actually is something we should be paying attention to. We're also talking about the upcoming Xbox July event, as we have new reports and new leaks giving us the date, apparently, that Microsoft has set for this event. It will be a digital event, and we also have an idea of some of the games that are going to be announced and what Microsoft is going to be focusing on. So very interesting stuff there. Certainly want to take some time to give my thoughts on that. So this is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. If you could do me a big favor before we go any further, make sure you hit the like button to show your support and help the video out. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future content, and make sure you hit the bell notification icon as well so you can be notified as soon as new videos go live. But starting here with full PlayStation 5 backwards compatibility, this was actually translated by the Twitter user known as Black Kite, and it was an interview that was done with GameSpark. And so one of the questions that was asked had to do with backwards compatibility, and they were making the comparison to the next generation Xbox, obviously highlighting the fact that every single generation of Xbox is backwards compatible with the Series X, and that's a big selling point that I don't know if it's big, but it's certainly a selling point that the next generation Xbox has, and it's something they're going in big with their marketing. And as of right now, Sony has only announced backwards compatibility with PlayStation 4 games, which is great, but even then, they haven't really been talking much about it, and I think people are hoping that Sony is going to have more to say before the console actually launches. And so let me read you the exact quote here. "We focus working on PlayStation 4 backwards compatibility so that users can move to the new console with their PS4 libraries. There's nothing we can answer about backwards compatibility with PS1, PS2, and PS3. Now, the part of this quote that people are focusing on and speculating about is the last part, where it says there's nothing we can answer about backwards compatibility with PS1, PS2, and PS3, because when you read that, it doesn't give you a definitive answer. You would think that if Sony really did have nothing planned for that, they would just shut it down immediately, so that way what we're doing right now doesn't happen, where people begin to speculate, people begin to hope and get their expectations up. Now, he also doesn't come out here and say flat out, like, yes, expect an announcement and we're working on it and we'll talk more about it later. It's kind of right in the middle where it can be interpreted either way. And to me, that's what makes this so interesting, is because this is something that Sony hasn't outright denied. And a lot of people point to the Mark Cerny deep dive presentation where he showed that slide where it was talking about backwards compatibility, and on the slide there was enough room for PS3, PS2, and PS1 to fit right in there on the little chip or whatever it was that they were showing with that slide, and it was just left empty. And at the top you just see PS5, PS4 Pro, and PS4. And so that automatically led a lot of people to believe that, this is Sony maybe hinting that we can expect more, you know? And again, they haven't outright denied this, and a comment like this only serves to further fuel this hope in people. And so to just give you my opinion on it, I think it's 50-50. I think people could easily just be reading too much into this. I would recommend that you don't get your hopes up too high, that you don't expect this announcement, because you'll just end up feeling let down. I would say, however, though, there maybe is a decent chance that Sony has already had this in place for some time, and they're just saving this announcement for the right moment when they feel like they need it. Because logically speaking, if you think about it, this June event that Sony held, and they have confirmed that they're going to have more events and more announcements for the upcoming months. They've made it clear that they're going to continue to build momentum. They're not just going to go silent up until the time the console launches, and neither is Microsoft. You have to understand that Sony most likely evaluated their June event and said, this is perfectly fine. This is certainly more than enough where we show the console and we show a bunch of new games for the console. In my opinion, that was certainly enough for their first event, but they have to save some stuff for later on, especially because they are in competition with Microsoft. Sony is well aware that Microsoft is going to have big announcements of their own, that they're not going to underestimate them, and they're going to be ready for anything, including a massive showcase that they need to retaliate, that they have to counter with something. And so if you think about the announcement of full backwards compatibility, that would be an absolutely massive reveal, an announcement that would make waves, and it would be the perfect counter for something big that Microsoft could end up doing. So I want to say that it's best not to expect it or anticipate it. However, we need to keep in mind that it is still within the realm of possibility until Sony comes out and just flat out says, this is something that we are not doing. And when we continue to read comments like this, where it's like, we can't answer that question right now, which leads people to think, wait, so you're saying there's a chance, right? Like, you're leaving it open. They're not shutting it down completely. And so we have to keep in mind that it is very possible. However, I don't know how likely it is, but it is very possible that this is an announcement that Sony could be saving. So yeah, very interesting stuff there. Let me know your thoughts about that down in the comments below. But moving right along here, we're talking about the upcoming Xbox July event. It says here, Microsoft will reveal its first-party slate of upcoming Xbox Series X games, including Halo Infinite, in late July, according to new insider information from multiple sources within the games industry. The news comes via Video Games Chronicle, or VGC, corroborating the same information shared by reporter Jeff Grubb, which says that Microsoft has internally scheduled its Xbox Series X first-party digital event for Thursday, July 23rd. Rumored titles for the live stream include Fable 4, a new Double Fine title, and whatever the initiative has been working on, but a first look at gameplay for Xbox Series X launch title Halo Infinite will no doubt be the main attraction. Microsoft had originally planned to reveal more next-gen news with a live stream every month as part of its Xbox 2020 initiative, but following a tepidly received third-party showcase in May, June has come and gone without a similar event. Meanwhile, the long-rumored Xbox Lockhart console is no doubt close to being officially unveiled, though it's unclear whether that can be expected as part of this month's upcoming briefing. Now, I find this information, I don't want to say surprising, but it's certainly interesting. It seems that Microsoft just can't keep a lid on things. We always seem to be hearing different leaks and that are actually accurate with this, and it seems that they're setting their date for Thursday, July 23rd, which, again, it's not surprising to me. That sounds like a perfect time for them to do something like this, although I've seen some people argue that it's too late in the month. It would be better for them to get out early in the month so that the entire month can be focused on them. But, you know, I'm sure that there's a reason why they have to do it that late. I'm sure that if they could do it sooner, they would. But this is coming from multiple sources who have been correct in the past, so I do believe this information. I'm certainly interested in seeing more about this Playground Games title that is long rumored to be a Fable reboot. I'm very interested in that. I really like Playground Games, and I'm going to be very interested to see what they can do with a fantasy RPG and not a racing game. Can't say I'm too interested in whatever this new Double Fine title is, but I'm sure there will certainly be some people interested in that. But I'm very interested in whatever the initiative is working on. We've been hearing reports and rumors that it's apparently going to be a Perfect Dark reboot. That's not as exciting to me as if it were to be a new IP, and frankly, the only thing that's becoming concerning to me about this event is the fact that we're not hearing anything about new IP. That is concerning to me because, in my opinion, if Microsoft doesn't have at least one new AAA IP to show off at this event, I will consider this event a not very good one, because that's just kind of ridiculous at that point. If there was any time they should be revealing a new IP, it should be now. When it comes to Halo, I mean, just to finish off what I was saying about the initiative, I'm still excited to see what they have. We know that they're a AAA studio. They have a lot of talent there, and their only mandate is to make something big, exciting, and ambitious, which is great. So even if it is Perfect Dark, I will be interested in seeing it. When it comes to Halo Infinite, I'm not excited for that. I'm just not that into Halo. However, there's no doubt that that will be critical for them to really knock it out of the park with whatever they show, because Halo is still a big franchise. It's a big game, and I know a lot of people look at Halo currently and are like, it's just not what it used to be and it never can be. But that doesn't mean it can't be successful and that it can't, you know, win back a lot of lapsed Halo fans. So in order for that to really be a success, the gameplay they show is going to have to look really good and really wow people and get people talking about it. And so while I may not be excited about it, I think it will be good for them if they're able to knock it out of the park. It's going to be their launch title, so that's definitely huge for them. But yeah, I'm hoping that we see some new IP. We know there's going to be some third-party games that show up here as well. We just don't know which ones. But as of right now, this is the latest information we have about this July event. And I want to end this video by letting you guys know that I put out a poll on my channel kind of asking you guys to vote on this. And I put it out about 2 hours ago at the time of this recording. And I said, do you think Xbox's July event will deliver this time? Will it be a big success and get gamers excited about Xbox? And I put 3 different options to choose from. Yes, for sure. Maybe it's 50-50, and no, it will flop. And as of right now, there's about 6,000 votes. And I do understand I am a PlayStation-centric channel here. I know many of you are big PlayStation fans, so it's, you know, easy to say that this is maybe skewed a little bit. However, 13% voted for yes, for sure. 66%, the overwhelming majority, voted for maybe it's 50-50, which I find interesting. And 21% voted for no, it will flop. The reason why I find the maybe it's 50-50 voting here at 66% interesting is because, you know, it seems that most people are feeling, even PlayStation fans are feeling like, yeah, it's, you know, we're not jumping for joy here, you know, locking it in, saying it's going to be a massive success, but there's a chance it could be, because I think we're all in agreement that it needs to be. So because of that, it's difficult to believe that it's not going to be good, although 21% of the people who voted for this said, no, it's going to flop. So I've also seen some people say that they just don't care, they're not interested in it, you know, and that it's just not something they care about. So there you go, guys. That's going to do it for the video. I don't want it to turn out too long, but I hope you did enjoy it. I hope you did find it informative. If you did, again, be sure to leave it a like. Make sure you leave your thoughts about everything we talked about down in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and haven't already. Hit the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.